Ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a meeting. This is going to be another meeting because today I got something important to discuss with you all. I am about sick and tired of hearing the whining, the complaining, the sobbing from those that are not willing to do what it takes to get out of whatever predicament that he or she is in. I am sick and tired of hearing about it. I'm sick and tired of hearing people whine, complain, and be sad and be miserable at their own fucking lives because they're not willing to do anything to change it. Understand, you have to sacrifice yourself for glory. You have to. It's not a fucking choice. You have to sacrifice yourself for glory. You have to. You cannot become anything or anybody of importance if you're not willing to sacrifice yourself to fucking get there. Understand, you cannot simplicitize every single one of your efforts and every single thing or every endeavor you indulge in and expect a greater outcome. You cannot expect to become somebody great if you want to live a complacent and hedonistic lifestyle. If you can't save your way to freedom, what makes you think that you could become anybody of importance if you want to live on a day-to-day standard living, not willing to go the extra step or sacrifice yourself to become that person? Life is an infinite paradox of chess games with non-emotional chess pieces being played against you all the fucking time. These people in power, these people in black suits, the deep state, the government, these politicians, these billionaires, these oligarchs, they can command people to do anything without fucking question. Get it done? Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. They will get it fucking done. They hire people to just do it without their fucking emotions being involved. So while they have the advantage to play millions and millions of chess games at a single fucking moment with an army willing to follow their instructions by any instruction given, you are at an inherent disadvantage. Understand, like I said just now, life is a game. It has always been a game. It's an infinite paradox of chess games being played against you all the time in every single thing that you can think of or every single thing that you do. And you're automatically at a disadvantage because the game that we play, we have to deal with emotional chess pieces. We have to deal with people whining. We have to deal with people complaining. We have to deal with people that don't want to do it. We have to deal with people's words and what they say and what their feelings or what their opinions are. So how can you win, huh? How can you win if you're not willing to sacrifice your work? How can you win if you're not willing to sacrifice your knight? Or you're not willing to sacrifice your bishop? Or you're not willing to sacrifice your pawns? How can you win? Let alone you're not willing to sacrifice your bitch. You're not willing to sacrifice your queen. Then how can you win? A lot of you are focused on what other people think too fucking much. And that is a hindrance to you. You're too worried about what other people think. You're too worried about what other people feel. So you're not going to sacrifice your queen because you don't want to hurt her feelings. You're not going to sacrifice your important soldiers because you don't want to lose your friends. You're not going to sacrifice the pawns, the people that you meet day in and day out because you don't want to feel manipulative or you don't want to cross someone or you don't want to be that guy. While there's other people like me that are willing to do just fucking that because I understand the very fundamentals of how to play the damn game. So anybody that plays that game with me are going to have a fucking difficult time of winning because I'm willing to sacrifice to the same fucking level they are. You guys are not. You don't want to leave your relationship at the presentation of an opportunity because you care about it. You don't want to leave your friends because you're going to sacrifice the good times that you had. You don't want to move away everything that you know because it's risky and it's unfamiliar. You don't want to move outside of the fucking household because you grew up with your fucking family. You don't want to run over the day-to-day people that you meet because you want to come off as kind and sincere. Understand that that is just simply not the fucking way the world works. The world rewards the pain. The world rewards the suffering. The world rewards trials and tribulations. Those who suffer the most get rewarded the best. Those who go through the most always come out on top. Look at history. Look at, if you read any book, any protagonist in any fucking non-fictional book, if you read it, just read it from beginning to end. It always starts off with the protagonist suffering the most. Hurricane blew away my fucking house. I lost my parents at a fucking early age. I was broke and homeless and living from homeless shelters and having not a damn thing in my pocket. Now I'm fucking wealthy and successful and I have a mass influence over fucking people. Understand, people don't get rewarded. People don't get influenced. People just don't wake up the next day and say, I need to change my life. That's not how it fucking works. People go through enough pain and enough suffering to wake up and say, I need to fucking make a change. I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not gonna go through that again. I'm not gonna be hurt and miserable and vulnerable again. I'm not gonna be weak. I want power. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. And that's how it always will be. Understand that power is everything, and without it, you're just nothing and you're nobody. And power can only be accumulated by money, by assets, and by people in a sphere of influence. That's how power is accumulated. People have the most power with the most influence over the masses. That's why people who control social media are the most powerful, because they can very much dictate what you think, how you think it, when you see that thing, when you don't see that thing. They can limit what you fucking see and what you don't see. They can limit what you hear and what you don't hear. They can limit what other people tell you and what other people aren't allowed to fucking tell you. They can understand that you only have access to your own tools. You don't have access to your friend's tools, because a lot of the times when you ask your friend for a favor, what are they gonna say? Nah, I can't, man. Nah, man, I'm busy, man. Not a lot of people have that friend that they can just call and ask for a favor with no strings attached, and they just do it. Those people like that don't exist. We're greedy. We've always been greedy. But you're playing against players who can do that, who can make one fucking call and alter the very fucking life, your very fucking life, your very fucking road that you are going on. They can make a call. If you don't think, let's just say, for example, you work in a corporate facility, but there's no proper HR, or even when there is an HR, you gotta go through this rigorous process to get hired. Right? You gotta go through this rigorous process. You gotta go through an interview. You gotta go through a second interview. You gotta take a drug test 9 times out of 10. Then you gotta wait for HR to get back, which is a whole fucking week process. Then you gotta bring all of these fucking documents just to get hired. But do you think it's that same process when you get fired? No. They just fucking, you gotta go. You gotta go. Now look at both sides of the spectrum. On your side of the spectrum, you got excited, you told your friends, you told your family that you got the opportunity. You probably asked to borrow somebody's fucking car and they didn't want to do it, so you had to fucking pay them. Or you didn't have the means to get to that job, so you had to pay gas money to somebody. You had to pay for something, just for somebody to do something for you, to get that job. When you got that job, let's say you pissed someone off, corporate or on the higher end of power, on the higher end of the spectrum, they can just say, fire that motherfucker. And they're gonna do that. They're gonna jump. They're not gonna question it. They're not gonna be emotional. They're not gonna defend you. They're not gonna say, I don't wanna fire that person. They're gonna be like, all right, hey, look, nigga, you gotta go. That's how it is. And on a worldview, you have governments. You have non-profit organizations that are backed by government. You have private organizations that are backed by governments that can tell people to jump, and what those people will say is how high. That's how it is. And you, on the other hand, you gotta pay for your friend to drop you off. You gotta pay for your friend to come and pick you up. You gotta pay rent because they wanna make money off of your pain and suffering. I've been in all of these fucking predicaments, and I understand the very fundamentals of the games that are being played against me. I, on the other hand, just know how to fucking play back. You don't. because you're still suffering, you're still fat, you're still miserable, you're still obese, half of you are still fucking living with your parents because you don't want to leave, half of you will neglect an opportunity because it fucking seems scary, half of you won't even talk to your friends because every time you do, it's transactional. They don't have your best interest at heart, they have their best interest at heart. Versus when you're playing against the big leagues, everybody has the same interest. It's like a coalition of where I say do this and the masses will say okay. Versus you say do this to somebody, they're going to say, well, what do I get? What's in it for me? And you're not willing to do anything that it takes to get out of this very paradigm. You're not willing to. The reason why I'm here today is not because I'm just speaking to speak. It's because I've done these things. And now I'm in a position of where, don't get me wrong, am I a billionaire? No. Am I a millionaire? No. But I have a lot of fucking money, like a lot of it. And I can tell people what to do and they'll say how high. I can give commands and they won't stutter. I have a sphere of influence of when I talk to people, people fucking listen. And I don't ask for favors. People ask me for fucking favors. So understand that to where I am in life is because I sacrificed myself for glory. I have a whole tattoo on my fucking neck that says in Greek, sacrifice to glory. Because I mean the shit that I say. I don't live by a different book that I'm fucking telling you to read. I live by the very fucking book that I'm telling you to read. I sacrificed my relationships for an opportunity. I sacrificed my fucking family and said, fuck off, I'm leaving. I sacrificed my fucking friendships and said, I'm not kicking it with y'all anymore. I sacrificed areas that I lived. I lived in Washington and moved 32 hours away driving, and it took me 2 fucking days non-stop to get there with no fucking sleep. No sleep, 32 hours, no fucking sleep, fatigued in a motherfucker. I had an opportunity. I took the necessary risks to change my life. I took the necessary risks to give the people around me a better fucking life. I sacrificed everything that I knew and everybody that I knew to just give them an opportunity. No, they didn't understand it at that time. No, they wouldn't fucking support it at that time. Yes, I hurt a lot of fucking feelings, but I will run over it. Over and over and over and over and over again. I will do it again and I will do it again and I wouldn't fucking look back because now I'm in a position of power. Am I the most powerful? No, but I will never be ran over again. There is nobody that can run me over. I am willing to put myself in a position to fight against the very fucking matrix that I'm telling you about. Because I have done the tools, done the research, done the calculations, sacrificed enough, been through enough, saved enough, built an empire, got myself to a certain point in life of where now I can do and say a lot more things that a lot of you can and cannot do. Understand that when you are at the bottom of the barrel, no one will listen to you. Nobody. Nobody will care about you. Nobody will have your best interests at heart. Nobody. They will all care about themselves because they don't feel like their efforts comes without strings because they're selfish. Understand that when you're at the bottom of the barrel and you're a nobody and you're worth nothing, people won't fucking listen to you. They won't. Now, the only reason why people don't listen to me is when I go on social media, I just fucking started this shit. But in real time, in real person, people fucking listen. And eventually, because I'm going to be consistent in doing that, people are going to listen on social media. I don't care about being scrutinized. I don't care about being fucking ridiculed. I don't care about being talked about. It's those very haters that are going to make my words more powerful. If you get offended and you get hurt at the things that I say, okay, bitch, be offended and be fucking hurt. That's a you problem. Toughen up, tighten up. Stop being a pussy. You're a man. And a lot of you that get pissed off are fucking men. Hey, y'all act like little kids. It'd be more men that get offended at the things that I say than the women themselves. So understand that life is an infinite paradox of chess games being played against you in every single thing that you do. And in order to be able to play back You have to understand the very fundamentals of playing the very game. You have to understand and do the groundwork of sacrificing yourself. You have to understand and do the groundwork of sacrificing the people around you. For you, be fucking selfish. Care about you more than fucking anybody. On my journey, let's just say it like this. On my journey of becoming the man that I am now, I sacrificed everything. Like I just said, I lived in Washington State and moved and left, drove 32 hours, fatigued, to a place I didn't know, to a place I didn't know anybody, that I was completely unfamiliar. Not for an opportunity, but just to change my life because I was sick and tired of the fucking scenery that I was around. And when I settled in, sure enough, yeah, I fucking lived with my parents. Hell yeah, I fucking did. I lived with my parents until I got my fucking shit together, and then I left when they didn't fucking want me to. They wanted me to stay home. They wanted me to be around my foundation. They wanted me to be around my support system. I wasn't playing that game. I fucking left because I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to build my foundation. How can I be responsible and take care of other people if I'm still being taken care of? I didn't want to be taken care of. I wanted other people to be taken care of. So I fucking left. I was in a relationship at that time and I left her too. She cried, she sobbed, she whined. I fucking hurt her. And she did not understand why I fucking left until she did. Because now, like, I'm in a position to provide for everybody. I don't ask anybody for anything because I don't need it. I already got it, and 10 times over. Now people come and ask me for favors. Now people come and wanting to surround themselves with me. Now when I give instructions, people jump. Now when I say jump, people say how high. I can lead a fucking team. I'm in a position of where I can give people with no jobs because I done the work. I understood the fundamentals of sacrificing myself. I was fucking miserable. I fucking suffered. I worked over 100 fucking hours a week not getting fucking paid just to learn the fucking lessons that came with that opportunity. I took an internship and my mentor told me that it is a hyper-competitive market and you're going to be placed against you're going to be placed against 32 other individuals that are in this exact same predicament, and we will only select 2 of you. 2 out of 32. And I was one of the 2. And then now I'm only one of the 1 because the other person fucking quit. They fucking cried and they couldn't take it and I fucking destroyed them. Because I will compete every single time. I am not afraid to lay somebody down. I'm not afraid to fucking sacrifice something. I'm not afraid to give it all up for the bigger picture if that picture made fucking sense. And it did. A lot of y'all will be too afraid. A lot of y'all want to live a complacent and hedonistic lifestyle. A lot of y'all want to stay home and watch anime and play video games. A lot of y'all won't go out and do something extraordinary. A lot of y'all are afraid to fucking travel because the planes are too scary. A lot of y'all, again, will not fucking leave your friends because of the good times that y'all had. A lot of y'all won't leave your bitch because she's whining and fucking crying about how much she fucking loves you. And yet, you can't even take care of yourself. You're living at her house. And so it gets to a point of where, when does it all stop? When do you stop whining? When do you stop crying? When do you stop being miserable in your fucking life and start building your foundation so you can be the one leading others? But you got to sacrifice yourself first. Romans and Greeks alike, they did the same fucking thing. Back in the history, they would leave from a fucking child. They would leave and they would go out into the fucking wild. They would fight lions and fucking tigers with a fucking stick. They would go through harsh weather, harsh climates, and sacrifice everything that they knew, everybody that they loved. And when they came back, they was a fucking gladiator. They was that Spartan. They were that, and they had powers of substance, and people always looked up to them like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, you're complete. Last time I seen you, you were a kid. And now you fucking changed. They won't be the same. And their whole mindset is fucking different because they went through all of that pain and suffering. Now when they went back home, they're rewarded with fucking power and influence. I was rewarded with power and influence because I sacrificed myself to get there. I went to the gym 6 days out the week, sometimes even 7 days out the week, twice every other day. I read consistently, I studied consistently, I wrote consistently, I traveled consistently, I fought consistently. I did it all. And I am trying to give y'all the blueprint so you can do it too. You need to stop whining, you need to stop crying, and you need to fucking get to work. You need to get off that TV, you need to get off that fucking video game because all of it's manipulating you. And I explained this in my previous videos. You are being manipulated in almost every single shape, form, and fashion you can think of. You're being manipulated not to take sacrifices. You're being manipulated to stay home and watch TV. You're being manipulated to be complacent, be fat, and masturbate. There are other men that I have personally met that talk like fucking idiots and normalize masturbating. Oh yeah, man, it's just testosterone. Sometimes you just gotta jack your dick to release testosterone. What the fuck kind of loser shit is that? Like, it gets to a point of where you have to realize that the governments don't want you to have any degree of influence. They don't, unless that influence promotes their propaganda. They don't want you to be able to think for other people, let alone think for yourself. I've said this. They want you to sit home, play games, watch TV, masturbate, and lose your fucking focus. Because those who have focus impacts the government the most. They impact the government the most. Less money that they make, the less resources that they make, the less people that they can fucking manipulate and fucking draw. Like, you guys think I'm joking, but I'm actually not. Like I said in my previous videos, the CIA, Homeland Security, and FBI, they are pushing fucking... For example, there was a study back in the 1900s, early 2000s, where the CIA injected their own people, their own military with fentanyl to see how the brain can be manipulated. And the government backed this research. And now they're trying to push fentanyl on a day-to-day basis. Why do you think none of these drug dealers are getting arrested? Why do you think none of these fucking criminals are really getting arrested? Why do you think people who solicit and sell fucking drugs on the street aren't getting rolled up onto the fucking masses? Because they want you to be high all the time. They want you to consume that all the time. In Mexico, they literally found out that a pharmaceutical company, a pharmacy, was housing fentanyl laced in Tylenol and ibuprofen, and nobody got convicted. Nobody got convicted. Nobody. Read it. It's an article. In Mexico, there was a pharmacy that laced their fucking Tylenol and ibuprofen with fucking fentanyl. And nobody got convicted. The story was fucking hitting. I had to seriously dig deep to fucking find that story. Because you won't find it on YouTube. You won't find it on New York Times. You won't find it on any of these published pages. You really have to listen to people. And by you listen to people and their podcasts and their interviews, they will tell you where to find it. And I did that. I listened to a prime minister from a certain location. I'm not going to say his fucking name, but I listened to a prime minister who said it and who said where to find it. And I looked for it and nobody got convicted. Nobody got convicted. None of these drug cartel leaders are really getting convicted anymore because the government needs the drug cartels. Like, understand, back in the day, the government used the drug cartels' money to help them out their very fucking crisis. Just like nowadays, they may not use the drug cartels as much anymore, but they will. They use more of like hedge fund. They use hedge funds like BlackRock and Vanguard. Understand, back in the day, like I just said, the government banked on the idea that, hey, look, let us use some of your money. And these cartels, these big fucking gang lords gave them money to help the government out of their crisis, in which in turn, they were allowed to smuggle drugs into the countries and sell them without repercussions. That's on paper. That is on paper. It's documented in history. You can do your own due diligence and find that out yourself. Nowadays, we do less of that and we more solicit deals with hedge funds that are buying single family homes like BlackRock and Vanguard, which own most shares of almost every single major company and corporation you can fucking think of. There's been multiple times where Chase Bank, not the hedge funds, but Chase Bank and Wells Fargo have lended bonds to the fucking government so they can pay their damn bills and so they can help the economy grow because they're so far in fucking debt they couldn't pay for nothing. There were times of where hedge funds have saved economic clashes, history, recorded economic clashes because again, the government couldn't fucking pay for it. But they're not really going to educate you on this. They're not going to educate you on the day-to-day assassins from whistleblowers or assassinations of whistleblowers. They're not going to educate you on where your tax dollars are going that are worse than the USAID. They're not going to educate you on how fucking corrupt Nancy Pelosi is. They're not going to educate you on how the governor or the director of agriculture in San Francisco found over $60 million to fund trans rights, diversity, inclusion, and equity in the food fucking market. They don't want to educate you. They don't want to educate you in that fashion. They want you to sit and watch that new drama show. They want you to sit and watch that new anime series. They want you to sit at home and eat this new food and this new product that has more chemicals than ever. They want you to sit and be souped up off of fucking drugs. They want you to sit and do nothing with your life so you don't have any degree of sphere of influence over other people. Because the more educated that you are, the less advantage that they have to control your mind. They don't want you to figure out that in 5 years' time, everything is going to be digitalized. They don't want you to pay attention that we're about to go to war with fucking China. They don't want you to really look into where your tax dollars are going. They don't want you to listen to the stories of these whistleblowers that worked under major governments and ended up dead after talking against them. They don't want you to know how Medicare and Medicaid are making money off of ill kids and ill elders. They don't want you to understand that the foster care system is a fucking scam. They don't want you to understand that insurance companies are fucking scams. They don't want you to have any degree of opportunity to make more money, and then when you eventually do make more money, they tax you fucking more. They don't want you to understand these things. So chess games are being played against you all the fucking time. All the time they're being played against you while you're sitting home like a fucking duck and not even know that, oh my God, I've just been checkmated. I've even been checkmated at my job. I didn't get that opportunity. I've been checkmated in my fucking life because I'm miserable and nobody wants to talk to me. I've been checkmated in every single thing that I do because I end up last or I end up lost. Especially when it comes to fucking men, and men are already lonely as is. Men are already misunderstood as is. Men suffer on a day-to-day basis and nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the fact that men suffer more than women. Nobody talks about that. And to live in a man's shoes means to suffer to every single day. Men are inherently ignored. Men are inherently misunderstood. Men are all the time seen as invisible. You could be fat, you could be a woman, or you could be a woman that's 400 pounds in the nightclub and still get talked to, while a man will not get approached. There was not a study, but there was this lady, I forgot what her name was, but she wrote a book. She completely changed her first and last name. She wanted to live as a man. She was a female, and she identified as a man, not to be a fucking idiot like a lot of you are, but to actually do a research on how it feels to be a man. She lived, I believe it was like a year or 2 years living in a man's shoes. She started growing hair, she started living her day-to-day life, and she was jotting it down in a fucking book as a social experiment. She ended up killing herself because she said it is extremely sufferable to be living on a day-to-day life as a man. Us men are ignored every single fucking day. Us men are suffering every single day. And that is our job. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to indulge in it. You're supposed to embrace it. You are supposed to sacrifice yourself for the fucking greater good. You are supposed to sacrifice yourself for our economy. We are supposed to be in the forefront of society all the time, every single time, without fucking fail. And those of you bitches that whine and cry and I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that aren't fucking men. And you, liberals tend to be, are always the fucking reason why our men nowadays are becoming weak, are becoming emotional, are becoming soft, and I don't want to do this because it's so scary. Like a lot of the times, like our men aren't men anymore because they are so they care too much about how they feel. They act like bitches. Where's the fucking men at that have balls? Where's the men at that sacrificed themselves for colonies? Where's the men at that fucking suffered? Where's the men that provide for other people? Where's the men that puts other people first? Where's the men that are willing to take that risk? Where's the men that go to the gym all the fucking time? Those men have value. Those men are sacrificing themselves for the greater good. Where is the men that stops fucking fixating their attention on fucking women, giving women their fucking ego boosts that do OnlyFans? Like a lot of the times now, it's just it's almost frustrating because I know more men than not that just don't have any degree of focus on their life. And it is like it makes me sad to a certain point. Like, don't you feel pissed? Doesn't it piss you off that there are more men that care about how they feel rather than the fucking greater good? That there are more men than not that will sit at home, fat, complacent, obese, won't even fucking get a haircut to look good for themselves, and paying for other bitches to become successful with scents that I can find in between my couch cushions because they have no motivations in life? Doesn't that make you sad? Doesn't that make you sad that nowadays we got fucking men that want to wear rainbow skirts and want to identify as fucking females? Like, I have never seen anything like it. Men used to ride on horses and conquer cities, states, and colonies. Men used to lead people to the greater fucking good. And now you got motherfuckers wearing rainbow skirts fucking on a balcony in a gay pride. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous what the men nowadays have fucking came to. That's why I'm a fucking lone wolf. I would rather be surrounded by fucking nobody. I would rather be by myself because the way I think is so hardcore masculine, people scrutinize me for it. Because guess what? Like I said in all my other fucking videos, that the number one thing that the government doesn't want is for you to think for yourself. I also said that the number one thing that they don't want is for you to be masculine. They don't want you to have a core. They don't want you to have a spiritual belief. They don't want you to have any feeling that, hey, I'm going to sacrifice myself for the greater good. They want you to be an NPC. They want you to have no motivations. They don't want you to be disciplined. And a lot of the times, y'all will fall victim to that. Y'all will cancel y'all plans. Y'all will cancel going to the gym. Y'all will cancel reading to hang out with your bitch. Y'all will cancel doing your fucking due diligence, giving your best gifts off to the world to go to that fucking party. Y'all will cancel going to the gym just to go kick it with somebody and get some fucking pussy. Y'all will cancel reading to go fucking masturbate, to stop fucking reading or go eat a fucking Twinkie. It pisses me off because these are the very men that's killing our society, let alone the men that are so focused on women, that are fucking pumping these bird brains head up, that are literally just sitting here feeding women and giving them money for their fucking OnlyFans. Like, it's insane that a lot of you will subscribe to a woman's OnlyFans. It is insane that a lot of you will pay to see another bitch naked rather than going to talk to someone in the real world. It is insane that the nightclub industry is failing because our lack of ability to socialize with the opposite sex. It is insane that the lack of confidence that are in our current men. It is insane that the suicide rate for men is now higher than fucking women. It is insane how people are not talking about the day-to-day suffering that men go through. It is now insane that the fucking men that do suffer sit and they don't even talk about it. They sit and they be quiet because they're afraid of being scrutinized. We don't have men that are prepared to lead others because they're afraid of being talked about, because they care too much about what other people feel, what other people think. It is insane that we have more women that act like fucking bitches than bitches. It just blows my mind. It makes me at loss of words. I swear to God, it makes my blood pressure rise. Every single time it makes my blood pressure rise. Like I said in the beginning of all of this, life is an infinite paradox of chess games being played against you all the time in every single thing that you do and every single thing that you say. And you lose, which is why you're fat, which is why you're obese, which is why you are miserable, which is why you cannot become disciplined, which is why you don't have the confidence, because you are on the losing side. More men than not. Women are on the winning side. They got fucking OnlyFans. Women don't need fucking talent. They don't need it. Understand that a lot of y'all don't even understand how miserable women are. Women get BBLs because they're not fucking happy with the way their ass looks. Women get fucking titty implants because they're not satisfied with their A cups. Women get their teeth done and men get their teeth done too because they're not happy with the way their fucking teeth look. Women get fucking lip injections and Botoxes and fucking jaw injections because they're not happy with their facial structures. Like, women go through just as much insecurities as men, and it's not enough talked about. Men have to, it's making me sick and fucking tired how the lack of confidence ruminates with fucking men. Get your fucking confidence back. Get your fucking arrogance back. Get your fucking shit together. You are not in this alone. You are not in this by yourself. Understand that just as much as you are being ignored, women are too. That's why they get BBLs. That's why they get their titties done. That's why they get their Botox done. That's why they get needles in their fucking face. Because they want to be noticed. Because they're not being noticed enough to their fucking standards. That's why they are on OnlyFans to fucking begin with. Because these bitches have no fucking skills. They have no brain to think for themselves. They're all fucking feeble-minded. They can't do anything on themselves but fucking sell their pussy for the dog. And you men are sitting here with a lack of fucking confidence. Where's your boldness? Where's your fucking brass at? Where's your masculinity at? Where's the advocate deep down inside where you're not afraid to fucking speak for yourself because you don't care about being ridiculed. You don't care about being scrutinized. You don't care what other fucking people think. Where's them men at? Where's the men that are willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater fucking good? Where's those men at? Where are the men that die for their fucking family? Where are the men that will move away from their family just to buy them families a house? Where are them at? We don't have them nowadays. What we have is a bunch of bitches that whine and complain and fucking wear rainbow skirts and fucking get high off drugs all the time and masturbates and buy OnlyFans. Buy these bitches OnlyFans. It makes me sick. I swear. It makes me sick and it pisses me off because I see this on a day in and day out. And it doesn't make you sick. It doesn't piss you off. It doesn't piss you off that you're being belittled on the day in and day out. I'm talking to my men here. It doesn't fucking piss you off that you got a bitch that is willing to ignore you for someone else that's better than you, and the only reason why she got to that person that's better than you because she fucking sold her pussy on OnlyFans? That doesn't piss you off. It doesn't piss you off that you're being ridiculed, scrutinized, and hated on every single fucking day, but women are getting fucking BBLs, titty implants, and Botoxes because they're insecure? But it's wrong for you to... It makes my blood pressure rise. It makes my blood pressure rise every single fucking time because a lot of y'all will sit at home and y'all are miserable and y'all do not have the ability to see the bigger picture. You do not have the ability to see that other people are suffering too. Women are suffering just as much. Y'all will sit here and belittle your own fucking confidence, and it should make you feel more proud that women are just as insecure as you are. And it should also make you feel as shit because you shouldn't care about your feelings. Marcus Aurelius said it himself that you should not care about your feelings, especially when it pertains to something that you cannot control. You cannot control people hating on you. You cannot control people scrutinizing you. You cannot control people ridiculing you. You cannot control what these bitches think of you. So I give a fuck. Why? Why focus your attention on what other people think rather than going to the gym, reading a book, learning something that you didn't know the previous day, becoming a better version of yourself the next day that you wasn't the previous day? Why? Why don't you try something new that you didn't know before? Why don't you take that risk and stop being a bitch and stop being afraid? Why? I literally have a book right here. Marcus Aurelius Meditations. I read this book probably 3 or 4 times at this point. I read this book 3 or 4 times. This is probably one of my favorite books, Marcus Aurelius, as well as The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, because those books really teaches you how the world thinks, and it teaches you how to reflect on yourself internally. And I preach this day in and day out to other people that are around me in real life. Because believe it or not, as much as I'm trying to counsel you on social media and tell you how you can be a better man, I do this shit in real time, real life. Real life, people walk up to me in my circle. What's your advice on this? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What would you do? People ask me all the time, what would you do if you were me? And I say to them, don't be a fucking loser. Don't be a piece of shit. That's really much it. I kid you not, like I was just with a group of friends, right? My lady, me and my fiance, we went to her friend's house not that long ago. Mind you, like I said, wherever I go, fucking people listen. I never met these fucking people in my life. I've met her friend, but I've never met these fucking people. Her friend's friends and her friend's boyfriend's friends, I never fucking met them. And by the end of that night, man, why are you so smart, man? People need to hear about this, man. What would you do if you were me? What would you do? Give me your advice. And by the end of that night, they talked about me for days after. They talked about me for weeks after. About the things that I fucking told them. And this happens on an every single day occurrence. Because I am here to educate you. I am here to tell you that you are not doing this alone. Nor should you feel like you are doing this alone. It is okay for you to feel hurt. It is just a bitch thing for you to do, to act on it. I'm not saying ignore your feelings. I am just saying don't act on them. Because that's what differentiates masculinity from femininity. Women get their feelings hurt and act on it. Men, you better get your fucking feelings hurt and ignore it. If you sit, I promise you, if you are in a group of men and one of your friends asks you, bro, what's wrong? And you actually go and tell them what's wrong, they're going to lose respect for you. Just stop being fucking gay. Stop being a pussy. Be like, nah, bro, I'm straight. I'm good. Or I will be good. Women sit here and gossip about their niggas. Women sit here and gossip about how he hurt me. That's a woman's job. And we have more men in that fucking occupation than women themselves. We're almost about to retire women from being emotional because they're starting to have to stand up and do the masculine shit. Like, I meet more women than not. Believe it or not, I meet more women than not that sit and tells me that they have to step in the line of masculinity because their man won't do it. I have had women walk up to me and said, what am I going to do with my man because I'm working, he's not, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing all of my feminine duties, I'm trying to keep him happy while trying to keep myself happy, I take care of our kid, he's gone hours out the day, he's not doing anything. Like, I hear it day in and day out. We need to uno fucking reverse, like fucking just reverse the fucking roles because what the fuck? Like, seriously, what the fuck? Why do we have men wearing rainbow skirts? Why do we have men fucking marrying other fucking men? Why do we have the government backing this foolishness? Why do we have men that's wearing fucking lipstick? Why do we have men that's wearing fucking makeup? Why do we have men that's wearing these ultra tight fucking skinny jeans? Why do we have fucking men that's crying and complaining and bitching about their fucking feelings? Why do we have men that's afraid of fucking taking risks? It's sickening. And this is really only in the Western Hemisphere. There are more millionaires than not outside of the Western Hemisphere than inside of the Western Hemisphere. Like, when we look at the Western Hemisphere and we look at people that are in these major cities, California, when we look at people that are up here in Washington State and Washington, D.C., and all of these New York and Hawaii and all of these metroplex areas, we see Ferraris, we see Rolls Royce, we see all of these Lambos, we see these Uruses, we see these Land Rovers, we see these penthouses and these millionaires. Like, we see this. We see this, right? But go out of the country. Go to Dubai. Go to Cancun. Go to some place you have not seen and you will hardly see these Lambos. You're going to see Bugattis, you're going to see Paganis, you're going to see Koenigseggs, you're going to see billion-dollar houses, you're going to see license plates that are worth over billions of dollars just because they got one fucking digits. You're gonna meet monarchs. You're gonna meet royalties. You're gonna meet royal fucking family. Like the wealth scale, the integrity scale from outside of the Western Hemisphere it's just unprecedented, the difference. It's just completely different. And the reason why is because, especially in the USA, we are destroying our economy. We are destroying our people. We're not encouraging one to stand up. Like, think about it. You'll have, I can go on social media, right? I can go on social media and post what I post and say what I say unapologetically, and there are going to be more haters than supporters. There are going to be more people that stand up in the bird brain and just be fucking idiots, not able to think for themselves, just fucking bots talking shit. You'll see that more often than not, and that's what discourages a lot of people from speaking up, is the fear of being scrutinized, the fear of what other people think. Like, in the Western society, we have normalized degrading one another. We have normalized the lack of support for businesses. We have normalized hating on one another and think that shit is fucking normal. When you have people who will die for you, you have people who don't know you that will fucking just... If you zoom out and you take a look and you travel, because I have traveled, I have left the fucking country, it's completely different. That's why I don't want to be in the fucking USA for the rest of my days. I have left the country, saw a different fucking picture, and I almost did not want to come back because it's just, you don't see rainbow skirts in Dubai. You don't see that. You don't see fucking loud, obnoxious, and arguing. You don't hear all these sirens. You don't see people get into reckless car crashes. You don't see all of that. You don't see rainbow skirts and lesbians dating lesbians and all of that dumb shit. You don't hear all of that. It's peace and tranquility. And they will arrest you if your dumbass thinks about doing that. And me, the way I see things is that's how civility should look. That's how our economy should look. That's how our economy should be ran. One of the richest countries on the fucking planet, that's how it should look. And in society in the Western Hemisphere, we'll say, I don't want to go to Dubai because I don't want to be arrested. Bitch, just don't fucking be ghetto. Like, that's all you gotta do is just don't fucking be ghetto. Stop all the fucking social affection. Stop fucking being gay. Stop being faggots. Stop fucking wearing rainbow skirts. Stop fucking causing a scene in public. Learn how to fucking drive. Like, it's complete blasphemy. It blows my mind. It does. It does. A lot of y'all haven't been to Dubai. I would recommend it. If you went to Dubai, you wouldn't want to come back. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. It's a different world out there. And I'm going to move my family out there. Because I can't, I take care of my mom, I take care of my dad, I take care of my brother, I take care of my sister, I take care of my fiance, I take care of everybody around me. Unapologetically so, because I've placed myself in a position to do it. And now I'm trying to help provide for y'all. I'm trying to help teach lessons and provide lessons and wisdom to y'all. And yes, I will be scrutinized. Yes, I will be hated on. Yes, I will be talked bad about. I already fucking am. The government propaganda machine is already fucking trying to stop me. Like, I've posted, I don't know how many fucking videos on TikTok, and I fucking got banned twice. Like, I got banned off of TikTok twice for violating community guidelines. If you sit and you fucking think about it, you'll have these bitches shaking fucking ass, fucking promoting their OnlyFans, and that shit gets millions and millions and millions of fucking views, and they won't get banned. But I'll go on social media and educate a motherfucker, and I hurt some bird brain in the back that's feeble-minded and can't think for them fucking selves, and I got fucking banned. It's just, they don't want you to be educated, and they don't want you to. But like I said, I don't care. I'm not gonna stop. I cannot be stopped. I am a machine, a relentless one at that. I know how the game is being played, and motherfucker, I'm playing back. I'm throwing the chessboards out the fucking window and creating my own with my own rules and regulations. And if I don't, then I'm beating people at their own fucking game and playing the game better than them. All I'm asking you is that you learn how to play. And you sacrifice yourself to glory. That's the first thing that you can do, is because the game of chess, its core fundamental is sacrifice to glory. You gotta sacrifice your queen 9 times out of 10. You gotta sacrifice all of your fucking rooks. You gotta sacrifice your knights to get a good play. Then you have to fucking capture the other side's king. Glory. But by the time you've already captured the fucking king, you sacrifice everything on the board. So let me get this straight. You'll sit and you'll play a chess game and you won't even think of the fundamentals of the chess game. You'll sit and you'll play a chess game and you'll try everything you can to do to win. But you won't do that same thing in life. You won't sacrifice your friends in life. You won't sacrifice your environment in life. You won't sacrifice the people around you in real time. But you'll sacrifice your pawns, your knights, and your rooks to win a fucking game, but you won't apply those same principles to life? It blows my mind. It blows my mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a choice. You can either sit, be fat, be complacent, be lazy, and not living for anything or anyone, or you can go through pain, you can go through suffering, and you can sacrifice yourself for glory. Because if it was me, I'm gonna walk through a fucking furnace. I'm gonna walk through shattered glass. I'm gonna walk through any degree of trials and tribulations to get what the fuck I want. And nobody, and I mean absolutely anybody, is going to stand in my way. Because when it comes to me and mine, I am relentless. And there is nobody that can fucking stop me. I compete. I'm very fucking arrogant. And I'm very fucking confident. And anybody who tells you otherwise, that it's wrong to feel that way, I bet you they're fucking wearing a rainbow skirt and they're fucking fairy behind closed doors. I bet you they are. And I bet you they're not doing anything of substance. When you are being hated on, when you are being scrutinized, when you are being ridiculed, understand that you are doing everything right. Understand that. I highly encourage you to listen, because I'm not trying to steer you in the wrong direction. I'm trying to teach you something that I know the masses of you don't know. So I hope you fucking listen, because this is just the beginning. Sure enough, I'm going to do podcasts with people like Andrew Tate. I'm going to do podcasts with Tristan Tate. I'm going to do podcasts with people of importance. And all the time, we're going to be like-minded. I've already met a certain degree of people, and those are in the works, and y'all should really tune in for that too. But right now, I'm just getting started, and I'm here to stay. So tune in, share with your friends, like the video, subscribe to the channel, or don't subscribe. I really don't give a fuck. Secretly, I do, because the more of you who do subscribe, you can help spread the word to other people. That's all I can really ask. And until next time, my friends, remember that you got a choice.